नहमदुहु व नुसल्ली व नुसल्लिमु अला सय्यदिना व मौलाना मुहम्मदिन रसूलिहिन नबिय्यिल अमीनिल मकीनिल हनीनिल करीमिर रऊफिर रहीम। अम्मा बाद, बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम। My dear brothers and sisters and beloved sons and daughters, Alhamdulillah Ta'ala, by the grace of Almighty Allah, we discussed yesterday the subject of al-Rihla Wal Hijra. What does this title mean? What does it imply and signify? And how it can be applied in our lives? And what is the link and connection between these two words? Al-Rihla, the migration, and al-Sohba, the companionship. And if I want to conclude or summarize the whole discussion of yesterday in one sentence, so I would say that al-Rihla is departure and al-Sohba is arrival. Keep in your mind that there can be no arrival without departure. If you want to arrive at any station, you have to depart from some place. Always it is departure which leads you to the arrival. Departure, if it is real departure, it has a guarantee in itself of union with your beloved. If the journey is saved and protected by the dangers or by wrong effects. So there are three stages. The stage of departure, of departing, then keeping your journey and travel protected from calamities and disasters. And these are different effects which lead you to misguidance. Different factors which take you away from the right path. So this protection is needed during your journey. And then your arrival depends upon where you want to arrive at, what destination you have fixed in your mind. But definitely, no arrival is possible without departure. That's why al-Sohba, the arrival, depends upon the real al-Rihla, real departure. Sometimes departure, migration, traveling does take place But sometimes it is from lower state towards higher state. Sometimes is other way around. The departure and traveling takes place, but from a higher state to a lower state. The second kind of departure, from a higher position to a lower position, had already taken place in our life. Every single soul has experienced this departure. But it is different in different cases, depends upon case to case, man to man, soul to soul. Some souls realize it and some are unaware of that loss or that damage which occurred in the form of the first departure, which was from the higher stage to the lower one. That departure was the separation. Now I have ended up the first subject. Now the second subject is starting. Maulana Rum starts his Masnavi from the point of this departure and this separation. So instead of departure, now I would say separation. He begins his message and his poetic verses with the subject of separation. And he says, how would you like, I should read some couplets just in a common way or little bit like the itikaf style. Not in that style, but little bit similar to that. So Maulana Rum mentions this separation in the words Bishnu azn hai kyun hikayat mein kunad Bishnu azn hai kyun hikayat mein kunad was judai ha shikayat mein kunad. He says, Bishnu azne chu hikayat mi kunat. Maulana Rum says, listen to the creed. What kind of tale or story it is telling? He is talking of flute. Listen to the creed. What tale, what story it is telling, and what kind of separations it is complaining. The word ne, creed, it has been used for the spirit, which we say soul. These two words are used for same. Some people use the word soul for ruh. Some people used the word spirit for ruh and soul for nafs. But mostly both words give the same sense. It is commonly understood when we say. So if we say soul, it means spirit. The basic theme is that reed is crying. The spirit is crying. And Maulana Rum says that this reed is complaining. And it is telling some tale, some separation, some story of its separation. And he says, was judai ha. This reed is not telling the story of one separation. No. It is telling a story of many separations. It complains of many separations. The question is, what are those separations? And how many separations are? It has gone through, and about which this reed is complaining. How many separations? Spirit is human before coming to this world and before appearance in this world. Human being in the form of spirit, soul, has been living in different worlds. The birth of humans, when we are born in this world, this birth is not the beginning of human life. Neither this birth is the beginning of human life, nor our death is the end of our life. I would say that death in the same way is not end of our life as the birth is not beginning of our life. We are the people, we are the ones who are living in this world of bodies, world of humans, material world. And we are just aware of the happenings and occurrences and existences of this world. This world is our beginning and this world is our end. This is a big mistake which is keeping us away from the ultimate truth. And we have fallen astray. We are not able to realize the truth, the reality. And that's why we are not able to travel in order to achieve the union with divinity, to achieve our connection with the presence of our Lord. And we are unable to receive the reflections of His beauty in our inner selves. Because for us, this world is everything. We can't see beyond it. We can't see behind our birth, and we can't see beyond our death. Since Rumi says, was judai ha shikayat mi kunad. This reed is complaining about many separations. But just he has said this word. Now, it is for us to understand what does he mean? How many separations are there which he is referring to? There are definitely many separations. The first of the separation is the separation from the realm of angels, angelic realm, angelic world. That is Alamul Malakut. Before coming to this world, human being in the form of his spirit was living in the world of spirits, in the world of angels. And that world of angels is also known as Alamul Amr, the world of divine command, because the divine command of Almighty Allah is received in that realm. That's why it is known as realm of command. And another name has been given to this world, and that is Alamul Ghaib, the world of unseen. Because that world where angels live, where spirits live, the alam which receives the divine command of Almighty Allah, that is Alamul Ghaib. It is unseen because it is beyond our perceptions. Since it is beyond our perceptions, so it is beyond our conceptions. Our conceptions, concepts, are totally based on our perceptions. Perceptions are the outcome of the functions of our senses, of our organs. We see, and eyes, this seeing, send a message to our brain. We hear, a message goes to our brain. We smell, a message goes to our brain. We touch, and the message goes to our brain. We feel, a message goes to our brain. We taste, a message goes to our brain. All these sensual organs are always sending the messages, these perceptions go to our brain. Brain is a factory. It has different functional departments. They have different functions. They receive the voices, they receive the meanings, the images, they retain, they connect them together. Finally, they produce a final product. So there is a whole system working there. When after our perceptions are organized, so the organized perception becomes conception. So conception is always based on perception. There can be no proper conception without perception. Whatever the scientific research say, it also starts its journey. The scientific research starts its journey from observation. It is a perception, observation. Then the scientist continuously goes through many processes. Experimentation and experiments and experiments. Finally, he achieves the stage of theory, hypothesis, then stage of theory. Then after long time, after the conformity and consolidation, in all experiments he receives the same. Then he achieves the stage of law. Whatever law science gives to us in any particular matter, this is law of motion, this is law of gravitation, this is relative gravity, whatever the science is giving to us, it always has undergone through lot of experiences based on perception. The foundation is perception. Doctors prescribe you their diagnosis their diagnostic science, their prescription, everything is based on perception, symptoms. Then blood tests, then MRIs, everything is based on observation, perception. It is perception which takes you to certain conception, to certain realization, and it becomes a knowledge. So our whole knowledge is based on perceptions, which are created by our senses. So conception are based on perceptions. Whatever cannot be perceived, and it was never perceived, and it is not perceivable in its nature, we won't be able to perceive any time, which is beyond our perceptions. So we will never be able to conceive it properly. Our problem is that we want to create the conception about the realities which are beyond our perceptions. We want to conceive, we want to understand, we want to make a concept, we want to give an opinion, to develop our idea, our faith, based upon our experiences, our knowledge, based on perceptions and based on whole material experiences of material world. So that's why that world which is beyond perceptions and conceptions, that is known as alamul ghaib, the world of unseen. So there is one separation which has been experienced by human soul. There was a time when human being, human, in the form of its soul, used to live in that alamul ghaib. Before he was sent down, or it was sent down to the womb of its mother. Before it appeared in this world. So that was its nuzul, its revelation. So before that, he lived unimaginable long time. One cannot imagine how long time of its stay was. He stayed there for maybe millions and billions of years. Allah knows better. So human being developed his companies over there. They were his fellow beings. Angels used to live there. The arwah of Anbiya, Awliya and human beings used. Arwah are nur, they are light. They used to live there. They were these two creations, men. And then there were tasbihat, glorification of Almighty Allah. All the time there were sounds of takbir and tahleel and tasbih and istighfar. There were prostrations. There was invocation of the names of Almighty Allah. And they used to receive the commandments of Almighty Allah. And this was the world of purity. There was no impurity in that world. So then there was no humanly desires related to our material or physical body. There were no lusts. There were no greeds. There were no hatreds. There was only love. There was no narrowness. There was just openness. There were no crude people. There was no anxiety. There was no depression. There was no problem. There was no anger. There was no jealousy. There was no arrogance. There was no hypocrisy. There was no lying. All bad habits which human soul has seen, has experienced after coming into this world. This soul has never experienced these kind of bad traits in that world. It has beautiful neighborhoods of angels, neighborhood of lights, used to listen to the voice of Almighty Allah, His commands. It was nur, just nur. light. So first of all, and this world had beautiful, pure relationships, beautiful and pure neighborhoods, beautiful and pure friendships, beautiful and pure sounds, beautiful and pure lifestyles, beautiful and pure closeness of Almighty Allah. And this soul was absorbing divine light of Almighty Allah's attributes in itself. It was absorbing, receiving the lights. And living there, since this was the world which was receiving the lights of divine attributes, so by receiving the lights of divine attributes, these souls were changing, attaining the characteristics of divine attributes. They were being colored. They were being dressed with those divine attributes. So they were different in their nature. When this soul separated from that world and came to this world of bodies, so this was, it feels its first separation. This is the first separation. Then there was another world, and that was a world beyond Alamul Malakut, beyond the world of angels and world of spirits. That was Alamul Jabarut. This was the world of divine power, realm of divine power. So, human soul at some time has been in the neighborhood of world of divine power. And this world of divine power means this was the world of the divine names of Almighty Allah, the lights of the names of Almighty Allah, and the lights of attributes of Almighty Allah. Anwarul Asma'il Ilahiyya, lights of the divine names of Almighty Allah. Anwarul Sifatil Ilahiyya, lights of the divine attributes of Almighty Allah. So that Alamul Malakut, the world of angels and spirits, was Alamul Amr, the world of command, where the divine command was being received. And this world of Jabarut is known as Alamul Jama'. This was the realm of union. This was the world of union. So here human soul was observing the beauty of Allah's name and beauty of Allah's attribute. And this, beyond this Alamul Amr, the world of divine command, was the world of divine attributes, and beyond the world of divine attributes, there was another world known as the world of divinity, Alamul Lahut. This was the realm of divinity. This was the world where Allah's command was coming from. So human soul at some time has been experiences all closenesses and all proximities of these worlds. So human soul, before coming to this world, was acquainted with the love of Almighty Allah's command, with the love of Almighty Allah's divine names, with the love of Almighty Allah's divine attributes, and with the love of Almighty Allah's divine power, and the love of divinity and the lights of divinity. Human soul had received the part of all these beautiful qualities and characteristics and lights and influences in it. That's why it was and it is pure of every kind of greed and pure of hatred and jealousy and pure of rivalry and arrogance, and pure of grudges, and pure of physicality, pure of human lusts, then what happened? Almighty Allah says, لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ. Indeed, we have created man in the best of the constitution, in the best of the form and manifestation. That was the best constitution and creation of man, which we have already talked about. Then it is the same thing has been mentioned in the Holy Quran, ثُمَّ رَدَدْنَاهُ أَسْفَلَ سَافِلِينَ. Then we sent it down to the lower of the lowest. Human souls coming down from that upper levels to this world, these are the separations. And same thing has been mentioned in Holy Quran. One you have already listened, that the human being was created in the best of the forms, then it was sent down, this form was sent down in this world, this lower world. But at another place, it is stated in Holy Quran, that is very interesting, very important point to be understood. One can say that how do we know that insan, the human being or human soul, was really living in that world or in those worlds? So this has been mentioned in Holy Quran. But normally we don't reflect it. It doesn't reflect in our mind. We don't concentrate on this point. It is stated in Surah Ad-Dahr, Surah 76, verse 1. It is stated in Quran, Hal ata alal insani heenum min ad-dahr, lam yakun shay'an madhkura. Surely, there has passed over man a period of time. Almighty Allah says, indeed, a period of time has passed over the man, over the human being, when he was not a thing worth mentioning. Lam yakun shay'an madhkura. Almighty Allah has declared that a specific period has passed over the man, on human being, when he was a shay, he was a thing, but not mentionable. It means the man at that time used to exist. He was a thing. He was in existence. But shay'am lam yakun shay'am mazkura, but not mentionable. He was never mentioned at that time. Or nobody, if he was not mentioned, it means that there was no one else to mention him. When one says that he existed at that time, but his existence was not mentionable. You can't mention it. No one else was there to mention it. No one was else there to describe about his existence, to describe his existence, to entail his existence. So the existence of man was there. Almighty Allah didn't say at that time that the man was about say that human being was non-existent. He didn't say this. He did not say that he was ma'doom, that he did not exist. No, Quran says that there was a time that he did exist, but he was not known, he was not discovered, he was not mentioned, he was not conceived, he was not perceived. There was no one to know him or mention him or describe him. This was the time of the existence of human being when even the heavens and earth were not created. The human being had already been created by that time. And the human being had already come out of the state of non-existence. Before that, there was a state of non-existence. Everything was non-existence. Nothing existed at that time except Almighty Allah. So that was al-Adamul Mahad. It was total non-existence except Almighty Allah. He was, and nothing else. But when He started creating the creation, He created the man not in the physical sense, not in the physical form. It was in the form of light. And Quran says that was the time, Hal ata alal insan. And Almighty Allah has named him as insan, human. This title, the nomenclature has been given, that insan used to exist. He was in existence, but it was not mentionable. Nobody knew about its existence. So it means that this insan or human being at that time had come out of the state of non-existence. And he had been brought to the state of existence. Therefore, this was the time which passed on the human, on man. And this time was when he used to live in the presence of Almighty Allah. In the presence of Almighty Allah. That was Alamul Lahut or Alamul Jabarut. Definitely before the Alamul Arwah or Alamul Malakut. That was Alamul Jabarut. When human being was not mentioned. Now a question arises here. Why Maulana Rum says that reed is crying, and human spirit and soul is crying and complaining about many separations? The reason, we can get the answer from Quran. At that time, when the existence of human being or existence of insan is established, and with the name of insan, but he was not mentionable. Nobody was there to mention it. The question arises that how he was given the name of insan. Where did this title come from? How was he identified with the title of insan when he was not mentionable and nobody else was there to describe him? This is very interesting. And Quran says that the period passed on at that time, the being on which that period was passing on was insan. So it means this title did exist at that time. So why this title was given to him? Who did give this title to him? What was the reason of giving this title to that existence? What became the origin of the existence of that title? If we go to the linguists of the Arabic language, they say that the word human being is derived from one of the two words. Insan is either derived from uns or derived from the root word nisyan. This is the root word, anasa, nasiya. This is the root word. Either the word insan has been etymologically, linguistically derived from the root word uns. And uns means intimacy and love. Uns means intimacy, love and cordiality. Or the word insan is derived from nasiya. It is nisyan. It means forgetfulness, that he forgets. Anasa, uns means he loves someone. He loves. He gets intimate to. He loves someone. Nisyan means he forgets something. Either it is derived from this world, uns or love, or it has been derived from nisyan or forgetfulness. If we refer to its first meaning, we take the first root word, and that is uns, anasa. So it means that the word insan was given to this being, to this existence, because of uns, the love, intimacy. So he developed a love for someone. This was a being. In that world, when its first existence took place, non-physical, in the form of light, when he started coming into existence, and this title of insan was given to him. Why this title of insan was given to him at that time? Because this being has developed love for someone. Who else was there? Whose love developed in this being? There was nobody else, because Quran says, Lam yakun shay'am mazkura. Only insan existed. And there was nobody else who could understand him, who could perceive him, who could conceive him, who could describe him, who could mention him. He was not mentionable. If he was not mentionable, it means there was nobody else to know him. If there was nobody else to know him, who would love him and whom would he love to? Whom would he love? And why would he love? There is nobody else to be loved. There is nobody else to be known. There is nobody else to be seen. Why would he love anyone? Because there was none. And it says insan means that he developed love for someone. So the meaning of the word insan is the one who loves is known as insan. And the one who is void of love, who is deprived of love, is stripped of his humanity. The one who does not any love in his heart, the one who does not enjoy the sense of intimacy, he does not enjoy cordiality, he does not enjoy the taste and the sweetness of love, he is deprived of humanity. And human, insan, means the one who loves someone. But who is the beloved whom he loved at that time? There was no one except Allah. There was no one except Allah. So the beginning of human, the beginning of insan, is the love of Almighty Allah. Here he started his journey. His beginning started from loving Almighty Allah and receiving his love into it. This is one meaning. So he started his life, the human being, insan, started his life in Alamul Jabarut, when nothing did exist, nothing was in existence, and insan came into existence. So he started his life with love of Almighty Allah. He got this intimacy to Almighty Allah. He got this nearness and closeness and proximity to Almighty Allah. So he received the lights of the love of Almighty Allah into it. Now coming to the second root word. If we consider that insan is derived from nasiya, from nisyan, it means forgetfulness. The insan is the one who forgets. This is the other meanings. So what did he forget which gave him the title of insan? Coming to the second meaning, second proposition, second option. Yes, we take it too, that the forgetting is inbuilt in loving. The more you develop the love, you keep on loving someone, and the love keeps on increasing in you. When the love achieves the stage of its climax, the climax of love is that you start forgetting every other thing except the beloved. So love includes forgetfulness. Loving and forgetting, they go side by side. The more your love increases, the more you get focus on your beloved. This is the message what Maulana Room says, and I am explaining. He used the word judai-ha. This reed, the spirit is crying and complaining of many separations. Now it's up to us to understand. Maulana Room stops. He doesn't go into the detail. He said, there are separations. And this reed is crying of all many separations. Now, it is the responsibility of the reader, or at least the explainer or interpreter, his responsibility to explain what kind of separations Maulana Room has referred to. So there are separations of different worlds. And in the end, as I mentioned, that the biggest separation and the biggest sadness for the spirit is in fact the separation from his Lord. The separation from the presence of Almighty Allah's presence. The separation from his nearness and proximity and closeness. And the separation from his direct love. When nobody else, and the beautiful word which Quran has used is lam yakun shayyam mazkura. It takes my mind to a specific state. One explanation I have already given, that human being was in existence and there was none else existed to know him, to understand him, to describe him and to mention him. One thing. There is another aspect of interpretation of this word. Lam yakun shayyam mazkura. That there was none else. If there was none else, it means it was complete seclusion. Complete seclusion. Just there was the beloved and the lover. And there was no in between. There was none else to disturb. None else to interfere with concentration. None else to interfere with this relationship of love. None else to disturb the meditation. None else to disturb the contemplation. None else to disturb the attraction. None else to disturb the attachment. None else to disturb the union. Just insan at that time was united with the presence of Almighty Allah. And he was just focused on a single point, and that was the love of the Lord. So this is the basic separation why he is crying for, that he has been separated from that secluded position. That was a time of retreat. That's why the i'tikaf has been given in Islam. And the retreats, spiritual retreats have been prescribed in Islam. That's why Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, the Moses, went on Tur, on the top of the mountain to have retreat for 30 nights. And when he enjoyed, it was extended up to 40 nights. And that was the result and effect of that retreat, that seclusion, when there was no one else between the lover and the beloved. No one else. Then this was the effect of their seclusion, the 40 days of retreat, that then he was able to say, Rabbi arini anzur ilayk. My Lord, now unveil this curtain. After sitting in seclusion in your proximity, when nobody else is between us, now I feel like to see you, your beauty, your light. So remove the curtain so that I may look at your beauty. He didn't say I may look you. The lovers, this is against the manners of love. This is against the manners of love to say, the lover would say, oh my beloved, I want to see you. No, this doesn't suit to the manners of love. He should say, I want to look at your beauty. I want to look at your countenance. I want to look at your light, your countenance, your beauty. That's it. Don't go beyond that. दूर बैठा गुबारे मीर उससे इश्क बिन ये अदब नहीं आता. So this is reverence. These are the manners of love. Manners in speech, manners in deed, manners in behaving, manners in sitting, manners in walking, manners in connection, even manners in looking. The lover can't see eyes into eyes with beloved. If you can see eyes into eyes, your love is still imperfect. So he said, Rabbi arini anzur ilayk, I can see towards your beauty. And still he said, Lan tarani, I am ready to show you, but you won't be able to look at my beauty. I don't say no, but you won't be able to look at my beauty. So look at how he is caring, the beloved, how much the beloved is caring of his lover. He says, you won't be able to look at my beauty. It will be difficult for you. It will be troublesome for you. He doesn't want to put his lover in troubles. This is how the beloved cares. So these are the separate. Then we will lost in different streets. I don't want to get detract. So I was saying that first root word is uns. So the insan is known as insan. Insan means human because he loves the Lord Almighty. Other word is nisyan, nasiya. And nasiya he is known because when he developed his love and his love becomes perfect or increases up to certain level, goes to climax, then he starts forgetting everything except the beloved, except the commands of beloved, except what the beloved likes. So insan became the lover and the forgetter at the same time. So when his love developed up to the climax, then he forgot everything except Almighty Allah's beauty and His remembrance and His invocation and His glorification and His proximity and His nearness. He forgot everything else. So the meaning of forgetfulness, nasiya, it has again two aspects. One is this. This is higher aspect. This is connected with the climax of love. This is connected with the first meaning. But there is another dimension of the second meaning too. The second meaning has two different dimensions. One, as I have mentioned, it is connected with the first meaning that forgetfulness emerges out of love. Forgetfulness emerges out of love. And the second dimension of the same meaning of forgetfulness is at lower side that we are experiencing today. That we used to love Him and we forgot everything except Him. That was the climax of our soul. Now the second dimension is that when we were revealed to this world, when we were sent down to this world, and we appeared in this world as the physical insan, physical human being, we started forgetting our Lord. This is again the implication of second meaning of nisyan, that the one who forgets. Whom did we forget? We started forgetting Almighty Allah. So there was a time he asked, am I your Lord? Qalu bala. Alastu birabbikum? Am I not your Lord? So every single soul heard this voice. And the spirit now, the spirit in the form of reed, which is crying, he says, I still listen those words. And sweetness of that voice is still in the ears of my heart. If I close my eyes, I can still imagine the beauty of those lights. If I close my heart, I can still hear the melodies of those beautiful words. Alastu birabbikum? Qalu bala. Am I not your Lord? You see how he used to talk to them directly, one to one. Am I not your Lord? Every single soul replied, why not? Yes, our Lord, you are. These were how the souls used to listen to him and used to speak with him. Now after coming to this world, this reed cries and complains about those separations. Those separations. And we have started forgetting Almighty Allah. So this is the second implication. Since human being was given the physical appearance in this world, the world of bodies, and this world contains the specific traits. And these traits of this material or physical world are conflicting with the traits of the world of spirits and angels and worlds of divine commands and worlds of divine attributes and worlds of divine names and divine lights. There is total conflict and contradiction between the traits. Therefore, when we get indulged in these desires and these lusts, we started forgetting him. We started forgetting his love. We started forgetting his obedience. We started forgetting his glorification. We started forgetting his closeness. We started forgetting to being submissive to his commands. We started forgetting the state of purity and we started becoming impure. We started the state of generosity. We started becoming stingy. We started forgetting the state of forgiving. We became something else. So we started the state of love. We converted into state of hatred. We became angry people. We became crazy people. We became lusty, people of lusts, people of worldly desires, people of arrogance, people of hatred, people of narrow hearts and narrow minds. So everything was changed and we forgot those things. That's why Maulana Rum says here, Maulana Rum, that this reed cries about. Now the spirit, the soul, now misses all those things, all those proximities and all those purities and all those beauties, misses. And it cries. And Maulana Rum says, Bishno, just listen why this reed is crying, why this spirit, this soul in your body is crying, and what kind of separations it is remembering and she is missing. I mentioned once this Urdu sher of Akbar Ilahabadi, when he says, just describing these kind of things, Kuch na pooch, ए हम नशे मन, मेरा नशे मन था कहाँ, कुछ न पूछ है हम नशी. Don't ask me, oh my companion. Don't ask me, oh my friend, my beloved friend. Where I used to live, where was my nest? अब तो ये कहना भी मुश्किल है वो गुलशन था कहाँ. Oh my friend, now it has also become so difficult to me to identify not only where I used to live, where was that garden where I used to fly. Even I forgot that garden. I can't identify it. Different steps of distances have come, layers of distances, layer of lusts, layers of physical world, and different tears have come in between myself and my old homeland. I can't recognize and identify, and even I can't remember where I used to live. Where was that garden? I forgot everything. So this was the first, you can say, couplet of Maulana Room, the first couplet of Maulana Room. And why this thing has happened? Because when Almighty Allah sent us to this world, He provided us with two potentials. Since He decided to send us in this world, so we have to live here. So He made us from dust, from fire, from water, from air, and all those elements of this world. He comprised us from these things, and chemicals through which the human is constituted. And all those chemicals come out from these kind of atoms. All these atoms and constituent ingredients of our physical body and our chemical constitution. All these elements have specific qualities, specific properties, their chemical properties, their biological properties, their characteristics. From them, morals are emerging, morals and ethics, and our temperament, and our moods, and our qualities emerge out of these qualities, our characteristics. And these things have become our aada. These things have become our aada. This is our habit, or this is our approach to life. This is aada, habit. This is our approach to life. Common, usual approach to life is known as aada. It's our habit. At the same time, He gave another thing. He put another thing in our inner self, and that is irada, intention. That is intention of spiritual search. Still there the search He has put it. The candle of search is still inside. This spiritual search is known as irada. Irada means potential to find something, intention, resolution to, our resolve to find something. That is irada. So we are combination of ada and irada. We have a usual approach based on the worldly habits, and in our inner self we have a potential that is our spiritual search, which listens like the reed, which listens the voice of heavens, and which tries to find out the reality, the ultimate truth. That's why we are combination of two, our body and our soul. Body comes from this material world. Souls come from heavenly world. And Almighty Allah has stated in Holy Quran, referring to the creation of man, فَإِذَا سَوَّيْتُهُ, when I will create the man, when I will constitute the human body with all elements I will constitute, and I will create a balance, and I will perfect it. وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي. Then I will blow my spirit in it. Then I will blow my spirit in it. فَقَعُوا لَهُ سَاجِدِينَ. O angels, then you have to prostrate, bow down for him. Prostrate yourself for him. So Almighty Allah mentions two things. One is Savvaituhu, is referring to our chemical or physical or material constitution of our body. And Nafakhtu fihi min ruhi is referring to our spiritual nur and light. So Almighty Allah, the irada inside the spiritual search, it entails the abandonment of the usual approach of two of life, and that is Ada. There is a conflict between the two. Ada wants something else. Irada wants something else. And Almighty Allah says in Surah At-Teen, ثُمَّ رَدَدْنَاهُ أَسْفَلَ سَافِلِينَ, that after creating the human being in the form of the best of creation, then we sent him down in this world, in the lowest of the lowers. And now Almighty Allah is further guiding him towards new migration. The next, al-Rihla and al-Hijra. First Hijra brought him from heavens, from the world of proximity, world of divine command and world of divine closeness to this world. And now he says, oh man, if your reed is crying and you are listening to it and you feel that you should attain the same position, then living in this world, I show you a path. Living in this world, I show you a path. And that path is weaken your ada and strengthen your irada. Weaken your ada and strengthen your irada. The usual approach to life, where you live here, you want to eat, you want to sleep, you want to achieve everything for your own interest. You want to protect your interests and benefits. And that's why you develop your desires and lusts. That's why you develop your passions. You develop your desires. And if you don't get it, you become angry. If anybody disagrees with you, you become angry. If anybody gets more than you, become jealous of him. So you develop jealousies. You develop anger. That's why if anybody you see, you don't like him because certain reasons, so you start hating him. You develop hatreds. You develop bad habits. All these things are based on ada. This is a usual approach to life. And this is based on your lower self. Weaken this ada. Bring all these desires and abilities and characteristics under control and weaken them. Bring them into a discipline, weaken them, and develop and strengthen the irada in yourself. And irada is the spiritual search of that lost reality, your lost station, which you are missing and you are crying about. And in Surah At-Teen it is said, ثُمَّ رَدَدْنَاهُ أَسْفَلَ سَافِلِينَ. All those were sent to this lowest world. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ فَلَهُمْ أَجْرٌ غَيْرُ مَمْنُونَ. Instead, in spite of living in this world, you have still a way to get united with the world of Almighty Allah's beauty. So this distance can be converted into nearness if you go on the path of piety and piousness. If you go on the path of self-vigilance and start this path from awakening and self-vigilance, I will explain that. And leave these huzus, the luxuries, and confine yourself to fulfilling the hukuk, the obligations. If you start this struggle in your life, then you will feel that in spite of living in this world, you will start another journey back to the original station. At present, we are being ruled by an-nafsul ammara. We are being controlled by the lower self. At present, we are being ruled by our lower self. And our lower self has all these qualities. Lower self is the most powerful representative of this physical world. It has all these qualities of ignorance, being ignorant of the truth, being stingy, being greedy, being arrogant, being angry, being jealousy, being negligent, having bad morals, hating other people, lying. All these bad morals and habits are the characteristics of our lower self, and lower self represent in this material world. فَإِذَا سَوَّيْتُهُ, all these things are present in this lower self. We need another migration. As we mentioned, according to the title, that every Sohba or every arrival is followed, every arrival needs a departure. And every departure is followed by an arrival. This comes one after one. After every step, has to be a departure from this station. Then again, arrival at other station. Then again, departure from that station and arrival at other station. So this is a continuous travel. You are the travelers. You have to decide whether you want to stay in the world of lower selves, where you don't have nothing except the worldly benefits in front of you. And we are being ruled by the lower self. Or you want to migrate from it. Migration does not mean that you are leaving this world. Does not mean that you are getting out of your job. No. It doesn't mean that you are losing all your benefits of the life. No. You are still living in this world. You will enjoy your benefits, but you will fix limitations. You will balance your life. Still living in this world, you want to come out of the circle of the lower self and its attributes and its adat, its usual habits and approaches and its characteristics. When you start illallazina amanu, except those who become truly faithful and perform good deeds and continue towards this destination, so they will get the rewards which will never come to their end. There will be endless reward. Endless reward would be a continuous upgradation till they reach the station of proximity of Almighty Allah. Till they reach the station of the player of Almighty Allah. So this migration, if you want to listen the read, you want to listen the voice, the crying and complaint of your soul, and you want to listen to it, and you want to understand it, and then you want to regain those pleasures which our soul had been enjoying in the early days and early periods of its creation. When you don't need to leave this world and to send your soul back to Alam-e-Jabarut and then you will be able to enjoy. No. This Almighty Allah has blessed us here. that you can enjoy those pleasures while living in this world. When we are separated, this is a state of a tafriqa, state of separation. And living in the same world, when we get united with the presence of Almighty Allah, our batin, our qalb, our heart, our spirit, our soul, our intellect, our secret and our ultimate secret, all these five inner senses, when they get connected with the heavens, with the worlds of commands and worlds of beauty of Almighty Allah, when we get connected internally with those worlds, so this state of tafriqa converts or transforms into state of jam'a, al-jam'a. So there are two states. At-tafriqa, this is state of separation which we are living in. And in this world, we can enjoy the state of al-jam'a, state of union. This becomes al-wusla. So in this world, we can enjoy the same. The same is stated regarding Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam went on Mi'raj and Isra, ascension, he left Makkah, he left this world, went to Al-Quds, Jerusalem, led the Anbiya and Rusul, the messengers and prophets in prayer. Then he was ascended to the heavens. First heaven, second, third, fourth, fifth, seven. Then beyond the heavens, beyond the arsh. Then he was brought, taken to the presence of Almighty Allah. And all veils, curtains were removed. And he sat at a position, ثُمَّ دَنَا فَتَدَلَّا فَكَانَ قَابَ قَوْسَيْنِ أَوْ أَدْنَى. He became closer to Almighty Allah. Almighty Allah granted him with the honor of his closeness. And then they were so close and near that you can't imagine the nature of that nearness and proximity. So when Holy Prophet enjoyed that nearness and he tasted the pleasure of that nearness, when he came back to this world, again started his job and his function and his duty of propagation, of da'wah, of tabligh as a messenger. So he felt, and he felt missing those pleasures of ثُمَّ دَنَا فَتَدَلَّا فَكَانَ قَابَ قَوْسَيْنِ أَوْ أَدْنَى. And this missing, this situation created a burden on his heart. So he thought, oh my Almighty Allah, I am your duty bound. I have again restarted my work. But sometime I miss the pleasures which I enjoyed in that station of ثُمَّ دَنَا فَتَدَلَّا فَكَانَ قَابَ قَوْسَيْنِ أَوْ أَدْنَى. Almighty Allah said, Alam nashrah laka sadrak wa wada'na anka wizrak. O my Mahbub, O my Habib, my beloved, we have opened your heart. We have opened your inner self, your inner secret. Alam nashrah laka sadrak wa wada'na anka wizrak. And the burden of separation. And the burden of separation from that station of Kana Kaaba Kausaini Odana, which you are feeling and you are getting upset and sad. We convert your separation into union in this world. We remove your burden and now you will remain in your function in this world, but you will enjoy the pleasure of remaining with me in that world. Your inner self gets connected with that world. So your every single act for his pleasure on the right direction becomes an act of ibadah. It becomes an act of qurba, act of closeness. It keeps you in the proximity of Almighty Allah. The only thing, you have to migrate from disobedience. You have to migrate from arrogance. We have to migrate from this, the lusts of this lower self. You have to sacrifice something in order to get something. We have to change our companies. We have to change our friendships. We have to change our priorities. We have to reschedule of our life. We have to restyle our life. We have to reprioritize our life's order. We are lost. We are lost in this world. And Satan, the devil has become our friend. These worldly lusts have become our friend. The passions of our nafs, the passions of our lower self have become our friend. The dunya, the worldly lusts, the passions of nafs, the lower self, and Satan. All we are in the companies of these three enemies. And there is a very big alliance between these three enemies against human being, against our faith, against our deed, against our conduct, against our behavior, against our purity. The shaitan, the worldly lusts, and lower self, passions of lower self, they are together in a form of an alliance. They are attacking from inner self and from outer self. And we are unable to defend ourselves because we have lost the pure companies. We have deprived ourselves from those companies would enable you to defend your faith, to defend your iman, to defend your amal and deed, to defend your conduct, to defend your behavior, to defend your inner self. Or you on your own, none of us on our own is in a position to defend ourselves, our faith, and our inner condition against the alliance, the big attacks of the allied enemies, allied forces, the shaitan, the worldly lusts, and the lower self's passions. Big enemies, uduvun mubin, manifest enemies. They are together. They are attacking on us. And we are busy in chats. We are busy in our Instagrams. We are busy in our Facebooks. We are busy in our chatting with our friends. We are busy in losing the strength of our faith. We are busy in losing the strength of our character. We are busy in losing the strength of our connection with Almighty Allah. And we are busy in losing the connection with your own mission, Minhajul Quran, the path of Quran. We don't have time. We are busy in job. We are busy in families. We are busy in early livelihood. We are busy in so many things, but not busy for Allah. The only thing for which we cannot find time in our lives is the friendship with Allah. Is to work for Allah. Is to do something to please Almighty Allah. Is to put our efforts to promote His message. To take this message to our brothers and sisters. Everybody is waiting in his house. Somebody should lead, then I will start work. There is no one to lead. If you are waiting someone to lead, only then you will start work for the mission, then shaitan will lead. Then shaitan will lead. And shaitan is leading. Then nafs will lead. The nafs is leading. Then dunya, the lusts will lead. The lusts are leading. Then our habits will lead. Habits are leading, already leading. Everybody has chains. Everybody has limitations, weaknesses. Don't, my dear daughters and dear sons, I always remain upset for you. I spent my whole life for you, for the Ummah of Holy Prophet, for the generation of Holy Prophet. You know, I have never done any business out of all these propagations and teachings and halaqas and Hidayah and writing the books. I have not done anything. 550 books are published. You know, these are not my business. I don't receive a single penny. 8,000 lectures are in your hands. I don't receive any royalties. No, absolutely nothing. I have not done anything for myself. whatever I can do with the command and with the will of Almighty Allah for just two things. Just to please my Lord and to please my beloved Prophet and to bring you on right path. To provide you with the light of good character. To provide you the light, the noor of good moral conduct. To bring the light, the noor on your foreheads of sujood or prostrations. To provide you pure characters. When you become good, pure, having excellent morals and behaviors, then at least I will be able to get a smile from my Prophet, beloved Prophet. I will be able to get a smile from the presence of Almighty Lord. He will say, you have done some work. I'm living for you, for the sake of Almighty Allah. And if you don't respond, and you spend your days and nights and your lives in laziness, waiting other people, other brothers and sisters to lead, nobody will lead and life will go away. The time will pass. Every single person amongst you has to be a leader. When you get married, you become leader of your house. You take the matters in your hand, you or your wives, you become the leader of that small unit. Just start a small unit of Allah's work. In the same way as you start the unit of your family. This is Allah's work. Of course, this is not a job which will pay you monthly salary or weekly salary. This will not pay you, but it will pay. I tell you, it will pay. I can't you how much payment you get out of that. When you see the smiling face of Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when you see the smile of the player of Almighty Allah, and when you feel the player comes into your heart and your inner self connected with the presence of Almighty Allah, you can't imagine what kind of regard this is. This is a reward. The best of the rewards. Take some time off from your other engagements and fix that time just for Allah, for your Lord. And this is a vessel, this is a means. The Minhajul Quran work, this is a means for you to take you to Almighty Allah. Be humble servants of Almighty Allah and do His work. Become His practicing servants. When you will achieve the new companies, new companionship through, if you get, you're working, this itself is a companionship. It takes you away from bad company and leads you towards good companies, at least where you hear Allah's name, Holy Prophet's name, remembrance of Almighty Allah, good words, where you receive good words, you receive good thoughts, you receive good designs how to work, good thinkings, good plannings. You take and give assignments to one another. You sit together, discuss the matters. Matters about what? About Allah's work, about Holy Prophet's work. Allah will be pleased with you and Holy Prophet will be pleased with you. The one, I guarantee you, the one who spends his whole life in serving Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and in serving Allah, when the first evening of the grave will arrive and certain 3 questions will be put on him by the angels, and the last question would be about Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Who is he? Do you know him? Then I guarantee, if you serve your whole life, spend your whole life in serving Allah and Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Holy Prophet will answer on your behalf, saying to angel, don't ask him, ask me. He is my beloved servant. He is my sincere servant. He has been working throughout his life for me. He is my loyal servant. Just fix hours for every day. Fix some hours from every day of your life. Every day. And spend those hours just for the sake of Allah. Create your own job. Develop your libraries. Establish a halaqah with your few friends. Start the halaqah of Quran. Start teaching and discussing encyclopedia of the Holy Quran. Start the halaqah of Minhaj al-Sawi. Start the halaqah now, the new book Jami'ul Ahkam is coming. Halaqah of Jami'ul Ahkam. Start the halaqah of your own learnings, your own subjects about the kids, about the Allah's work. You have hundreds of ways and means you can develop. Start the halaqahs for tarbiyah. How to make new friends and few members of this delegation, new traveler of this path. How to make a new traveler of this path. How to make a new companion in this path. How to convince him. How to go there, approach him. Give him the message, get his response. Do halaqah, do zikr and do fikr, remember, reflection. You can create your own jobs, your own business, your own engagements. No need of waiting for any organizational unit, nothing. Every single person amongst you is under liability. Ud'u ila sabili rabbika bil hikmah. Every single person is a da'i. He is a caller. Every single person is an inviter. He has to give a call. He has to invite the other. And inviting, he has to look into himself that how much I am practicing about what I am inviting to. But this is a communication of your speech, your word and your deed, your outer self, your inner self. You are responsible for this purification process of your life. Nobody will come to purify you. This is the companionship which you have already received. Sit down on computer or on TV. Every day listen a part of lectures. Read some books. Read the Holy Quran with translation, with tafsir. Read the books of hadith, other books which you like. Listen some lectures. Take points from that. Make your notes. Become the speaker. Transform it. Transfer it to other. Convey it to other. Whatever you learn every day, convey it to some other people. Sahaba, the companions and their followers used to sit down along with kids and used to read the hadith of Holy Prophet ﷺ. Somebody asked, what do they understand? They are small kids. He said, even they don't understand, at least I will remember. I am repeating my beloved Prophet's, esteemed Prophet's words. I will remember them. I will be able to learn them. So you have to create your own activities and assignments. So come out from the circle of nafsul ammara. This is the control of nafsul ammara, the lower self, ill-commanding self. Get out of it. Then you will enter the next circle, that is an-nafsul lawwama, where our self would become cursing self. In what sense? If the man does any wrong deed, an act of defiance, an act of disobedience, an act of transgression, any bad act, evil act, his nafs would curse him. So he will get an awareness from his inner self that I am doing wrong. So it means when the nafs becomes the cursing nafs, it means that a life has started in the heart. When the nafs, your inner self, somebody may say conscience. These are different words used in different languages. If you do wrong deed, you act of cruelty, act of transgression, act of aggression, you do commit bad evil acts, and you don't get any curse from your inner self, it means your conscience is dead. And what does it mean? Your heart is dead. This is al-qalbul mayyit. Heart is dead. Come out of the state of a dead heart. When you come out from that, through the effort, through the migration, and enter into the circle of the cursing self, it means the life is coming to your heart. Heart is feeling. Heart has started differentiating between good and evil. Heart, your conscience, your inner self, your shu'ur, your consciousness has started differentiating the good and bad, the right and wrong. So this would be the beginning. And when you enter this, it has its own abilities and characteristics. If you keep on struggling on your migration, on your journey towards union of Almighty Allah's presence, if you keep on struggling, then you will enter into the third circle. And that is the an-nafsul mulhama. Then you will enter into the nafs, circle of a nafs, the self, the spirit, where you will receive intuition. Good thoughts will be revealed. That nafs will guide you. That nafs will give you good ideas, good thoughts, good suggestions. That will become your guide, your consultant, your friend. That nafs will say, do this and don't do this. Go this way and don't go this way. So nafs will give you his consultancy, his guidance, his light. The nafs will receive the revelation, intuition. It will mulhama, receiving the ilham, intuition, and giving the intuition to your aql, so that you may take a good decisions in your life and avoid yourself from evil. If you continue this migration, this rihla, then you will enter into the circle of an-nafsul mutma'inna. This is the state where your self will become satisfied with the goodness, satisfied with piety. Your nafs and heart would be satisfied with acts of mercy, with acts of worship, with acts of obedience, with acts of purity. All good acts, pious acts will be confirmed in your heart and in your soul. You will get attached to them. You will feel pleasure in it. You will love worshipping. You will love reciting the Holy Quran. You will loving act of charity. You will love loving the people. You will love caring the people. You will love helping the poor. You will love helping the needy. You will love uplifting the weak. You will love giving respect to the people who are disrespected. You will love the mankind. You will love the piety, the fasting, all good deeds, pious deeds regarding their acts of worship or their acts of human rights. You will feel a pleasure in your heart. This would be nafs al-mutma'inna. When you reach this stage, al-wilaya, the friendship of Almighty Allah will start from here. You will enter into the circles of the friends of Almighty Allah. Ala inna awliya Allah. You will enter into this circle. And this is a continuous process of migration, traveling. Everybody is a traveler. You are traveler, I am traveler. Every prophet was a traveler. Every saint is a traveler. Every messenger is a traveler, except Allah Ta'ala. Everyone in the creation is a traveler. He travels according to his rank. He migrates according to his ranks and states, according to his stations, according to his requirements and according to his needs. So you will enter into fourth stage. Then after this fourth circle, you continue your migration, you al-Rihla, continue al-Hijrah. This is al-Hijrah and al-Rihla. Continue your traveling. Then you will enter into the fifth circle. And that circle is your heart and your nafs, yourself, will become pleased with Allah's commands. You will become pleased with Allah's will. Then you will wish whatever Allah wishes. You will be happy whatever Allah commands. Now you will become distant from that nature where the man wishes, oh my Lord, I wish this. Maybe he wishes something else. No, now this duality is removed. Someone saw Almighty Allah in his dream. And that person used to live in the time of Hazrat Ba Yazid Bistami. He saw Almighty Allah in his dream. And Almighty Allah told him, every single person amongst you asks me about something. Everyone asks me about something except Ba Yazid. He doesn't ask me from me anything except me. Whenever he asks me from me. Since he loves me, I love him. This is the state where the wish of the man gets assimilated, gets fana, assimilated and annihilated into the wish of Almighty Allah. Where human will gets lost in the will of Almighty Allah. And I told you, you started your migration from the point of tarkul aada to migrate from your usual approach to life, to migrate from your habits. And your habits mean the habits of lower selves, the attributes of lower self. You started your traveling, your journey from that point. And now you have reached to a state, the irada has become your leader, not the aada, not your habit. Your spiritual search has become your leader. My dear sons and daughters, and my dear brothers and sisters, we are being led by habits. What are our habits? Our habits are comprised of, constituted of our lusts, our desires, luxuries, our comforts of this world. Our habits comprise of these things. These are our habits. If anything we feel against our habit, it means against our comfort. This habit is a comfort level, against our comfort level. If anything happens against our wish and our will, we get angry or at least upset. When anything happens against your wish and you neither get angry nor upset, thank Almighty Allah that you are in the circle of the third stage of Nafsul Mutmainnah. If you don't get angry, neither angry nor upset inner self, then you have to thank Almighty Allah. You are on right path. Sometimes you show your anger. Sometimes you don't show but you feel. Sometimes you get upset. Sometimes you feel discomfort. So you should feel comfortable in any situation in which Almighty Allah is pleased with you. Your comfort should depend in the prayer of Almighty Allah. This should be your comfort level. This is my teaching to you. Bring yourself, upgrade yourself up to that level where your comfort level becomes the prayer of Almighty Allah. If Allah is pleased, you are comfortable. If you get every prayer of this world, then Allah is not pleased with you in that matter. So this is not comfortable for you. So this is where your nafs is not only satisfied, rather pleased. This is the fifth stage, that your self has entered into the circle of that your nafs has become pleasing nafs, pleasing self. You are pleased with Almighty Allah. An-nafsul radiyah. So at this stage you get abstention in your heart. Az-zuhd. Renunciation, abstention from this world. You get freedom from the lusts and loves and desires of the world. I always say these words to my students. Live in this world. Live in this world, but don't let world live into your heart, in your heart. You should live in the world. You should live in the world, but the world should not live in you. Get your share of the world. Try hard. Put your efforts in establishing your faith, your spiritual, achieving the spiritual objectives, as well as your worldly objectives, your ranks, your knowledge, your education, your job, everything, your skill. Do everything what is necessary for the success of your life. But don't let all these things of world enter into your heart. Keep your brain, your body attached to this world, fulfilling the duties and commandments of Almighty Allah. And keep attached your inner self with the world of the prayer of Almighty Allah. So, then you will get abstention, you will get sincerity. This would be the stage of forgetfulness. You will love and obey the commandments of Almighty Allah, and whatever is in disobedience of Allah, you will forget it. So there are two stages of people. Some people have to work hard in order to get rid of disobedience. These are people who are slaves of aada, slaves of habits. And those people who go onto the path of irada, intention and divine search, and they get out of the control and slavery of aada. They get rid of the slavery and captivity of the aada, of the habits. What do? They forget everything which is in disobedience to Almighty Allah. And they commit the acts of worship and acts of obedience of Almighty Allah without any hard work. So this becomes their new habit. The first dress of habit is removed, a new dress of irada is put over them. They live in worship. They live in Allah's prayer. They live with Allah's prayer. They live for Allah's prayer. And somebody asked some Gnostic, where are you coming from? He said, from Allah. Where are you going to? He said, towards Allah. Why are you going for? He said, lillah, for Allah. For Allah. What are you taking with? He said, min Allah. Every provision from Almighty Allah. So this is the climax of your trust, that you build into Almighty Allah's blessings. So this becomes the nafs all. So this is the station of rida, of prayer. Then if you keep on continuing your travel, your journey of migration, then you enter into the sixth circle, and that is an-nafsul mardiyya. This is the stage when Almighty Allah becomes pleased with you. So you become Allah's beloved. At fifth stage, Almighty Allah was your beloved and you were the lover. Now Almighty Allah becomes the lover and you are the beloved. Although the awliya and urafa has put these two nufus, radiyya and mardiyya, in this priority, but some of the lovers of Almighty Allah and Gnostics, they have stated in a different order. He bought a lady, a concubine. In those days, they used to buy and sell. Brought to his house. And at night time, when her master went to sleep, she made ablution, sat on the prayer mat, started praying and prostrating and glorifying Almighty Allah and crying and remembering Him and invoking His name. Her master, who became one of the great awliya, he heard her crying. He got up. She was saying, he stand behind her to listen to her. Listen. She was saying, "Oh my Lord, for sake of your love with me, oh my Lord, for the sake of love which you have with me, forgive me." What was she saying? Repeat, "Oh my Lord, for the sake of the love which you have with me, forgive me, forgive my sins." He came forward. He said, "Oh lady, you have gone crazy. You are mad. Change your words. Instead of saying that for the sake of the love which Allah has with you." No, this is wrong to say. Say like this, "For the sake of the love which I have with you, forgive my sins." She laughed at him. She laughed. He said, "You don't know the secrets. Go and sleep. Go and sleep, you don't know the secrets." He said, "What secrets you are talking about?" She said, "You know, if he had not loved me, would he have allowed me to remain awake and stand on the prayer mat and remember him? And if he had loved you, would he have allowed you to sleep the whole night? So he loves me, that's why he wants me to stand in front of him, to invoke his name, and to remember him, and to prostrate myself in front of him. He doesn't love you, that's why he allows you to keep on sleeping. Allah loves first, and man starts loving after him." He said, "Oh lady, I did a wrong act by buying you. From today, you are my master and I am your slave. You are my master and I am your slave." When she heard this sentence, she cried. She cried. And she passed away. What did she said when she was crying? She said, "Oh my Lord, up till today, this was secret between you and I. Now it has revealed, it has appeared, it has come to the knowledge of other people. I don't want to live anymore. Now the secrets are revealed. Take me to your presence." She passed away. I don't want you to pass away. I am telling you a thing. As I mentioned yesterday, I don't want you to digest and drink the whole ocean. Just drink a single drop out of that. Just a drop out of that ocean. It would be sufficient. Take few drops. Keep on taking one drop every week or one drop every month. Keep in a bottle. Then take the second drop, drink second drop next month. The third drop, third month. If not every month, take one drop every year. The drop of ishq of Allah, the drop of intense love of Almighty Allah will do a lot of work. It will help you a lot. So you enter into the sixth circle, that is an-nafsul mardiyah, where you become matloob and mahboob, the beloved and the wanted and the sought, and Almighty Allah becomes your seeker, your lover. And then after that you receive the seventh and last stage, where your nafs becomes an-nafsul kamila, the perfect soul. This is the perfect soul. And perfect soul means that Holy Prophet's al-Khuluqul Azim reflects in you. You become a manifestation, a reflection of the Khuluq Azim of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa alayhi wa sallam. If you start this journey, it means that an awakening has started in your life. Awakening. This awakening is known as at-tanabbuh. If a person remains sleeping, nothing will happen. He has to get out of sleep. We are in a sleeping condition, sleeping state. So if we don't wake up, nothing can be done. So this 2 days session of al-Hidayah, al-Rihla and al-Hijrah, you can take it as a session of awakening. This awakening in Arabic is known as at-tanabbuh. It is known as at-tambih. Another term has been given to it, al-intibah. Another term has been given to it, al-yaqaza. And another term has been given, at-tayaqquz. You can read any of these terms in different books. All these terms have the same and one meaning. They are not different. So, whenever the awakening takes place, when you wake up, then you get up. Then you stand up. When you stand up, then you start walking, start journey. So awakening is at-tanabbuh. Standing up is qawma. These are the steps of your spiritual migration, the points where you start from. First of all, you have to get out of the state of sleepiness. When you get awakening, then definitely you will get up, you will stand up, as you do every morning. When you are awake, you stand up. Then you walk, you go anywhere according to fulfill your need. So standing is qawma. And when you walk, in spiritual language, it is sair. A sair. And the spiritual people, the lovers of Almighty Allah, when you start your journey, you walk, they say this is as-sair ilallah. A journey towards Allah has started. A journey towards Allah has started. This journey towards Allah, when you get up and walk, it has stages. First stage, as I said, is yaqaza, awakening. What is the sleep? This is sleep of negligence, sleep of heedlessness. You have to get out of this sleep of negligence. Nawmul ghafla, the sleep of ghafla, negligence, heedlessness. You have to stand up. This is qawma. If you don't get up, you can't start your journey. You can't start your migration. You can't start your al-Rihla. And you don't start your al-Rihla and al-Hijrah, you can't achieve arrival, al-Sohba, the union, al-Wusla. You can't arrive that station. When you start your journey, you need 4 things. You need 4 things to have with you during your safar, during your as-sair, during your journey and traveling towards Allah's closeness. One is al-wuquf al-jinaya wal-ghawaya. Realization of defiance and deviation and sinfulness You have to contemplate. You have to reflect. You have to try to understand. I have to try to understand that I was sinful. Every single person among us. After awakening, tayakkuz, tanabbuh, when we stand up, the first thing in order to start the journey towards that great destination, the first thing is realization of this fact that we have been committing sinfulness. We were ghafil, we were negligent, we were heedless, we were disobeying. Then you can count. This is your own contemplation and reflection. You can count. Are you are you praying 5 times a day? Or have been you praying 5 times a day? Have you been fasting regularly? Have been you reciting Holy Quran? Have you been very truthful in every single word? Have you been sincere to Almighty Allah's command? Have you been helpful to all people, your friends, your parents? Have been you showing reverence to your parents? Have you been kind and generous to your wife, your children, your brothers, fulfilling their rights? Have been you working piously, sincerely, with loyalty, with piety, with generosity? Have you been fulfilling the duties which Allah Ta'ala has commanded you to do? All obligations? Have you been abstaining from all acts of omissions which Almighty Allah ordered you to abstain from? So you have to count all acts of commission and omission, al-awamir wan-nawahi, and you have to find your state, your position, where do you stand, what you have been doing. This would be the al-wuqufu al-jinaya wal-ghawaya, how much misguided I was, how many sins I have been committing, how many acts of disobedience and negligence I was committing. So this is the first thing. By realizing this sinfulness, you assess your losses and your damages. You should know that you are in loss. Wal asri innal insana lafi khusr. You should understand that you are in loss. A damage has occurred in your life. Damage to your faith, damage to your morals, damage to your conduct, damage to your piety, damage to your good deed, damage to your relationship with the Holy Prophet, and a damage to your relationship of servanthood with Almighty Allah. You have to count it. Become an accountant. Become an accountant. After coma was the first condition, coming out of the sleep of negligence. Then was al-wuquf. The second position is mulahaza. Al-mulahaza. Mulahazatu asbabiha wa asaratiha. Then you have to evaluate and examine what were the reasons of my sinfulness. What were the reasons? And what are the effects of that state on my faith and on my amal and on my hal, my state. You have to evaluate, you have to examine the reasons behind the defiance and disobedience and effects of my acts of sins on my life. No need to go to any teacher to ask. All these lessons, this is your teacher. You can do self-assessment as you do in your tax matter. Do self-assessment. What I have lost, what are my losses, and what are the reasons of my losses. Any person doing business, running a shop, if he is going in loss and loss and loss continuously, and he does not understand that I am in loss, then what do you say? How can he run the business? And then if he doesn't understand why my shop is in loss, how can he run his business? He has to bring his business on breakdown, then bring to profit. So how will he come to breakdown, or how he will come to the profit when he doesn't understand the loss and damage, and he is not ready to understand the reasons of damage? So you have to understand and evaluate the asbab. The reasons. There may be many reasons. And the most important reason, I repeat it again and again, is your bad company. And company is not only the human beings, friends. Company is whatever is in your hand. Anything you are spending time with. You are being influenced, making your mind. You are lost in it. Your lusts, your peers, your friends, your class fellows, your family sometimes, your traditions, your biradaris, your Jats and your Gujars and your Arais and their traditions, their families and your friendships and your this and that, all Allah and Bala. There are many kinds of companies and your all electronic medias and electronic things. Wherever you are spending your time, in what company you are spending your time, so they may be the most important and significant reason of creating a negligence in your attitude and taking away the awakening from your life, taking away the tanabbuh from your life. You are not realizing the thing. This is the biggest loss. You are not realizing. You are not appreciating the thing. The fourth thing then is at-tadbir. After mulahaza is at-tadbir. Tadbiru takhallus min riqqiha. Then you have to do planning for coming out of this situation. Then you plan. When you understand, evaluate the reasons and effects of that state, then you start planning how to come out of it. So the first stage before planning was when you start planning. Here again I repeat the word. The first step of planning is al-Rihla. When you have determined and realized and determined the reasons of your losses, then you have to separate yourself from those reasons. This separation is migration. This is traveling, leaving them again away. Getting rid of them, this is al-Rihla. And you are traveling towards a new Sohba. This is the part of the planning. If you are getting loss from some company, you can get benefits from some company too. Listening a lecture every day is your company. Watching a video is your company. Reading a book is your company. I am very honest in telling you, any book of the awliya, Salaf Salihin, and book of Hadith, and the Sunnah, whenever you read, I will say you, whenever you read, if you are sincere and loyal and pure, you go into the company of the author. Book is the company. Knowledge, real knowledge, takes you to the company. Book takes you to the company. Book of Hadith takes you to the prophetic company of Holy Prophet. And Quran takes you to the company of Almighty Allah. What is company? It connects your inner self to someone. This is the company. As I mentioned yesterday, Almighty Allah says, Ana jalisu man zakarani. I sit with those who remember me. I am become their companion, their co-sitter. I become their companion who remember me. So, planning for coming out of this situation and getting freedom from the slavery of sinfulness. Freedom from the slavery of sinfulness. This is the fourth thing which you have to take. And the fifth one is talabun najat bitamhisiha at tafriqiha, seeking of salvation by differentiating the sinfulness from piousness. So to get out of that company which make you slave of your lusts. One another company is the shisha company. It has become very popular. Youth going to shisha houses for socializing. Shisha is another satanic company. Anything, my dear sons and sisters, which take you away from your Lord, which weakens your faith and weakens your ghairah, your hamiyya, your commitment to the spiritual morals and spiritual and ethical states, makes you compromising, which creates compromising situation in yourself with other things. You are compromising your faith. You are compromising the purity of your state with your loyalty with the Holy Prophet and his deen and his teachings and his commandments and his great morals. So these are the companies which you get after months and after years. But still you can have this companionship every day in your house. And I would say every moment whenever you want. You have to plan. This is a part of your tadbir. Seeking salvation is through differentiating the sinfulness from piousness. We don't understand. Are we on the path of piousness or sinfulness? We have so much lost. We don't try to ponder. We don't try to reflect. We don't try to differentiate between two situations. We have to differentiate our acts, our deeds, our tastes, our companies, our friendships, our loves, our priorities, whether they fall into the circle of defiance or obedience. Whether this act will lead me towards Allah's pleasure and paradise, or this act will lead me towards Allah's wrath and the hellfire. And the very important thing, how can we achieve the ability of differentiating between these traits, between these things? We need an ability to differentiate between these things. It needs an ability, a nur. These are hidden characteristics. There are many things which are hidden in our life. Hidden characteristics, hidden attributes, hidden tastes, hidden tendencies, hidden propensities. These are hidden. And sometimes we are so much lost or so much negligent that we are even not ready to differentiate between these traits, or we don't understand, we don't want to concentrate on it. So we need ability to differentiate between these traits. And that ability of differentiating comes through three things. One is listening to knowledge. Three things. One is to listening knowledge. And listening the knowledge, فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. The knowledge should be al-ilmu nafi'. Knowledge of those, listening to the knowledge of those people who act according to their knowledge. There is no conflict between their act and saying words. And those who have the knowledge of the inner self and outer self, and those who have piety and self-vigilance, and those who are generous in their nature, and those who propagate and who give knowledge to the people not for the sake of money to fill their pockets, just for the sake of Lord, for the sake that mankind may get the guidance. So knowledge is not their business. Knowledge is not for dunya, for akhirah. You can get some laws, some rules, some books you can read, but be careful about getting everything or getting something. You have to differentiate between these two. So the knowledge, by listening to the knowledge, reading the books, listening to the lectures, speeches, attending the majalis of ilm, reading books every day, and books of the awliya, urafa, aimma, muhaddiseen, authorities. where you don't find any chance of getting misguided. So this is the sama'ul ilm. This is listening to knowledge. And second thing which will provide you the ability of differentiation, that is respecting the limits set by Almighty Allah. Hurumat, Allah Rabbul Izzat's hurumat, the limits, the boundaries which Almighty Allah has set. These are halal, this is haram, this is forbidden, this is permissible, these are acts of commission, these are omission, these are preferred, these are commendable, these are desirable, these are not, these are permissible, these are better, these are disapproved. So these are haram, prohibited, forbidden, these are fara'id, mandatory and obligatory. You have to differentiate between the levels, ranks, and differentiate between the hudud fixed by Almighty Allah and His Prophet, and give respect to them. Don't take them lightly. We have started in our lives, we take these hudud lightly. We don't bother. We don't bother about them. No, start thinking about them. Build up your lives on these hudud. Develop your lives on these hududs. Don't transgress the limits. Try to live within the limits. So this is ijabatul dawa'il hurma, ijabatul hurma, ya ta'zimul hurumat. Ta'zimul hurumat. Ya al-hurma li hududillah. So this is the second thing which is needed. And the third, as-sohbatu salihah. The pious company, which I have been emphasizing throughout my 2 days lecture. Accompanying the pious. So whatever you get through the pious company, you can never get through other sources. Yesterday I explained you in the form of Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim, Sirat al-Lazina an'amta alayhim. Almighty Allah has emphasized on pious company in order to receive the guidance. Reception of guidance depends upon the pious company. And cutting off from the bad and evil company. غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا الضَّالِّينَ. Both are conditioned together. If you do one thing and neglect the other, you won't get the guidance. One thing is providing you benefit, other is bringing the loss. So you are still there. You can't achieve anything. Get out of isolation, sitting in your house without doing any work. Enter again in the work of Minhajul Quran, the path of Quran. Get yourself busy in this work. This work will itself create an environment, and that environment become a pious company for you. And if you remain alone on your own, you are totally unable to defend your things, defend your faith, defend your thoughts, because there is a very big alliance of strong enemies, every time attacking on you from inner side and outer side. Holy Prophet ﷺ said, Alaykum bil jama'ah wa iyyakum wal furqa. Live in the company. Al-jama'ah means pious company. Holy Prophet ﷺ said, adhere to the pious company, adhere to the pious company. Adopt the pious company. Live your life in pious company. وَإِيَّاكُمْ وَالْفُرْقَةِ. Beware of separation. Beware of separation. Here is the teaching of getting away from isolation and coming towards integration. Here, coming out of the separation and living in pious company, integrated with the pious people, good people, peaceful people, loving people, caring people, generous people, obedient people. Holy Prophet said, فَإِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ مَعَ الْوَاحِدِ وَهُوَ مِنَ الْإِثْنَيْنِ أَبْعَدُ. In other hadith, Holy Prophet said, Al-Wahidu lish-shaytan, or kama qal. Indeed, the devil, the shaitan, lives with one. If you sit down, if you sit in your houses on your own and live an isolated life and become disconnected with your pious company, which Almighty Allah has provided you in the form of your mission. If you get separated from your company, Holy Prophet said, then shaitan is very closer to that man. Shaitan is very close, very, very close. He is closer to that man. And minal isnaini abad, if he gets into the company of other pious friend, he is further away from the two. Two means the pious friend. So whoever wants the best place in paradise, Holy Prophet ﷺ said, Fal yalzamil jama'ah, then let him stick to the good company and pious company. If you want the success of this life and the life hereafter, you need a pious company for your life. So, we finished this session only on the first couplet of Maulana Rum. This was the Sharh interpretation of only first couplet. Bishnu azne. I had in my mind to at least explain 15 couplets. They were in my files. 15 couplets and verses of Maulana Rum's poetry. 15. I brought this material in my files, but I am ending up with only one first couplet, the first verse. And I repeat, Bishnu azne chun hikayat mi kunad was judai ha shikayat mi kunad. So we started from this first verse and we end on this first verse. If Almighty Allah wills, we shall talk about the other subjects and other verses in some other al-Hidayah camp. I hope whatever I wanted to deliver to you, you have received. Ji? Will this session and these two sessions bring a change and a migration in your life or not? How should I think? Ji? I hope you will go back with this idea of migration. You will start a practical al-Rihla in your life, and you will keep on with al-Sohba, and you will try to achieve the stage of al-Wusla, Almighty Allah's presence, union with Almighty Allah's presence. And you will start your work again. Sisters, Minhaj sisters, they have started their work. And Minhaj brothers, I am waiting, when will they start their work again? I hope there will emerge many of you as leaders of Minhaj brothers. Is it right or not? How will you connect again on this subject to restart in your cities? Just convene meetings in your cities. Anybody should lead. Just start the work and create a company. Create a company in your city of your own. Don't wait for instructions coming from anybody. Everybody of you, start the work in your city, create your own halaqah, your company, any kind of work you feel ability for that, or you feel comfortable in doing any kind of work. There are hundreds of work to do. Just start. And this starting of work will create a company for you, for your children. The time is coming when it will be very difficult to save the faith of your children and next generations. If you are weak, how will you be able to transfer this legacy to your children? And just imagine in this condition what would be the position of their children when they will become the parents. You will lose everything. And I hope, inshallah, you will become the protectors of your legacy with good moral and generous conduct, with great intention and spiritual resolve and spiritual commitment and good attitude and good intention and good efforts. You will put your efforts into it. Almighty Allah will provide you with this tawfiq, inshallah, with this divine support and divine favors. And any one of you who start works, he will get some results. He will produce results. Don't get disappointed. Whatever you do, inshallah, you will see the results. Don't feel shy in taking the leading role. Every one of you is a leader. And start your work on the city levels and then connect on the zones, at the zone levels. Which would be Midland zones or North zone or South zone and Scotland zone. Then connect the works of the zones. So this is the time of reviving your commitment. And revival of commitment means in practice. Almighty Allah will help you, mashallah. Almighty Allah will protect you from every evil and provide you with the blessings of very pious life. Wa sallallahu ta'ala ala sayyidina wa maulana Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in.
सबसे पहले नई वीडियोस को हासिल करने के लिए शेखुल इस्लाम डॉक्टर मोहम्मद ताहिरुल कादरी के ऑफिशियल यूट्यूब चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें और बेल आइकन क्लिक करें।